Hey, this is Tom Russell, Realtor with the Bannack Real Estate Group, and today I'm with Mike Himber, who is a previous client and now a friend, and he is going to help us understand the process that he and his family went through to get into the home that they're in now. So, Mike, to start with, what was the process you went through just to decide to buy a house, and how did you and your wife actually decide to do that?
So we kind of started out. So we just had my one son at the time when we were living in a two-bedroom apartment, and
Okay.
it seemed to work out just fine for us for the time being. You know, we didn't need a whole lot, and we weren't shooting for the stars quite yet, but we always knew that we wanted a house eventually. You know,
Right.
the American dream of
Right.
a house with a yard and maybe a dog and things like that. And then we kind of had a surprise, and my daughter was conceived there, and
Mhm.
then so we kind of needed a little bit more space because we just had a two-bedroom apartment,
Right.
and they shared a room for a brief bit of time, and we just thought we're growing a little too big for our britches there. So
Yeah.
so we wanted to try and figure out how to buy a house, and to be quite honest, we didn't think we'd ever be eligible to buy a house.
Right.
We both were young kids and made a lot of mistakes back in the day and had a lot of fun, but that came with some debt and
Yeah.
responsibility there. So
All of us did that.
yeah.
So then, how did you get a hold of me? What happened there?
So we actually we had heard about you through a mutual friend of ours. He's a really good friend of ours, and we've trusted him a lot. And just said that you were the man to talk to.
Okay.
And honestly, I had met you at a brief little bonfire,
Yep.
and we all kind of hung out and really got to know you. And thought, the second I want to buy a house, I think I'm gonna
Okay.
pick that guy. And
Perfect.
it was a good move on my
Perfect.
part.
Right
So,
on.
yeah.
So you did something unique. Most people will go to a lender like a bank or a credit union or a mortgage brokerage, and you went directly to rural development. Tell me how you knew to do that. What was the deal?
Yeah, so my wife, her mom went through rural development directly several years ago, and she had a really nice house out in Lolo, and we thought, what a great community Lolo might be, or some of that surrounding area, and we thought, she was able to get into this really nice house for really not too much, and we thought maybe we would try to pursue that option. We hadn't really looked at any other options. We just knew it worked out really successfully for her, and her house payment was relatively cheap, and she's lived in that house for 10, 15 plus years at this point.
Wow,
And
okay.
really loves it there, and we just thought maybe we would give that program a shot. So she pulled out some of her old paperwork that she had from way
Nice.
back in the day, and it had a phone number on it, and we decided to give that a call and
Wow.
kind of start the process. We honestly, it's a little embarrassing. We didn't do a ton of research into it
Yeah,
beforehand,
yeah.
but
It worked out.
It really worked out in our favor.
We'll talk about
so,
that.
Yeah.
So then we started to look at houses, and what did we look at? 2 houses.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot. Yeah, it was
And
maybe two.
The
or
second
three
house you walked in, it was kind of like, oh my God, this is it.
Mhm.
So yeah, and it was go time.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing then was, and I don't recall, you'll hopefully remember the details. It somehow we negotiated into the purchase price your closing costs and all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
which is a danger because it can make your payment high.
Right.
But we managed to do it. Do you remember how that went?
So first off, the house, and I don't mind sharing, the house was originally listed at $290,000, and through rural development, we went through all the process. We fixed our credit, we did everything that they asked us to do, and they said that we would qualify for, I guess, the maximum amount, which came out to be about $280,000.
Okay.
So we were looking for something within that price range, and this house really just stood out to us, but with the market being what it was, we weren't sure that we were going to get it.
Yeah, I was a
things
little
were getting-
concerned.
Yeah, things were getting snatched up within 24 hours, it seems like, when we were striking out left and right. And so we just decided to throw in an offer at $280,000 to meet our maximum loan amount. And I think you even put in a little letter just saying that we were a nice little, family with a couple of kids and just trying to start at our first home. And they ended up biting on that. But the interesting part with that loan is, depending on what the appraised value of the home might be, we can actually lump in our closing costs into the maximum loan amount.
Right.
And the house was appraised for, I think, $282,000 $2,000 roughly. So we were able to lump in those
Another 2,000.
yeah,
Right.
into covering basically all of our closing costs. So
Wow.
not only did we go into it with basically no money, I mean, we had a small, nest egg set aside, but we didn't have to pay any money. In fact, we got
I was going to say,
we got an $800 check when we signed for the house at the
Yeah,
end. So,
yeah, so at the end, you got to check back.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. So that's the good stuff I wanted to share with people. And then we went to closing, and it was just an overwhelmingly phenomenal experience for you to go through and to know that you finally got your family into your own place. How you liking it now?
Oh, it's lovely. It's
Uh-huh.
I don't. It's just amazing. Honestly, we are so happy where we're at. We have our nice house. Each of our kids have their own room, and they're painted their own colors, and we have our own yard. And it's just nice to have something that we kind of call our own instead of just
Right.
dumping money into rent every single month and
Yeah,
not really seeing
exactly.
any sort of return on that whatsoever. I mean, I feel like a real adult now, to be quite honest.
We got all the responsibilities for it too.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you that, I mean, it's just a pleasure to know that this happened for you. This is one of the most rewarding experiences in my career, and I live for this. So thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you find it valuable. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.